Joe and Heather were fast asleep late at night when all of a sudden they started to hear a noise coming from downstairs. Heather was really frightened and told Joe that she would not be investigating the sounds, so he was kind of forced to go and check. In order to reassure his wife, he acted brave and tough whilst he searched the downstairs, but to his dismay, he found nobody. This is when the following happened.
Kept hearing weird noises, and I know I'm not stupid here. Man, I don't know how much more I take this crap. All right, who's in here? I don't know, but this is freaking me out. Oh, shit. All right, who's there? Oh, crap. Crap. Heather!
Hey. What is all that noise? I'm trying to sleep.
Get in here, hon. Get in here now. Get in here.
What's wrong?
Get in here. Let's go in here.
Hey.
Just get behind me. Get behind me. Get behind me. Come on, let's go in here. Come on, come on, come on.
The cabinets in the kitchen began to open and close without any human interaction, and it was clear that whatever was causing this had most certainly caused the sounds that woke the duo up. Joe was utterly terrified, and I am surprised that he was able to stay so composed in such a dire situation. It is something that we can only admire. The following video was uploaded to YouTube by a man called Tyler, but he was not the one who obtained it. His neighbor's house was extremely haunted, and in order to make sure that she wasn't alone, she constantly sent Tyler the footage of her hauntings. One day, Tyler received another email, and eager to see what the supposed spirit had done, now he was very fast to open the app. He did not expect to find his neighbor in the sheer amount of fear that he did.
So this is my room that I sleep in. It's on my Hall of Fame. And I have a pet guinea pig too. Oh, he's so cute. All right. No. God save me. Who knows what could be entering through that door?
First of all, a chair moved across the floor on its own accord, and this frightened the poor woman, who let out a bellowing scream. The chair movement could not have been further away from a natural occurrence, so she knew in her head that it was a spirit. Furthermore, after approaching a doorway, a thud was heard behind it, as if somebody was in there, and this reaction from the girl was much lewder. She had local residents knocking on her door to see if she was okay, and fortunately, she was physically fine. Not mentally, though. Nico was a German man who lived on his own after a recent breakup with his ex-girlfriend. Initially, they decided to move into a rented apartment with each other after university and expand life from there. But after realizing they were fed up with each other and this wasn't the lifestyle for them, they ended it. The girl allowed Nico to keep the household as they used to, both split 50-50 rent, so it was an equal choice as to who could keep it. Little did either of them know that it was haunted, and none of them would have wanted it if they were able to see this video beforehand.
Wenn ihr dachtet, das war schlimm, dann wartet bis zum Ende. Gustav, es ist nicht mehr witzig, Leute. Ich habe ein Kreuz aufgehangen. Und jetzt werden meine Bilder runtergeworfen. Okay, ich kann es jetzt nicht zeigen, weil die Fotos sind privat, aber das geht definitiv viel zu weit, Leute. Flussverkehrshotel, das Video unbedingt mit euren Freunden, um nicht zu verpassen, wie wir Gustav, der Hausgeist, Poltergeist oder Dämon loswerden. Einige von euch meinten nämlich, dass es auch ein Dämon sei. Oh Leute, allein die Vorstellung, ich krieg Gänsehaut. Wenn ihr mein Herz hören könnt, wie schnell das rast, das ist wirklich nicht mehr witzig hier. Leute, seht ihr das? Seht ihr das, Leute? Oh mein Gott.
Whilst Nico was lying in bed all snug and comfortable, an item fell to the ground, which forced him out of bed. He walked around the room and spoke to the camera quite a bit, in hopes that he would be able to capture something else cool on a video so that he could impress his friends and social media, and fortunately, he did. Some bags were shaking by themselves, and it was obvious that nothing other than a spirit could have possibly caused this. Logan loved camping, and he did these trips with no intention of coming across ghosts. In fact, he did not even believe in the entities, and had a strong passion against them, going as far as becoming angry at people who do believe in spiritual creatures. One day, whilst camping, Logan decided that he had been outside for long enough and yearned for a night inside, so went to stay at the White Lagoon Bothy. He expected this to be a normal place, and a small family was staying there, so surely he was safe. Well, while he might have been protected from rogue travelers, he was not safe from the entities that he deemed as fiction.
Should do for now. Someone left some wooden forks for me as well. There's a whole cutlery set of wooden stuff, so save on washing. Don't know what it is about fires, but there's something so beautiful and hypnotic about just staring into them. This will probably be me for most of the night now. I just get my music on, enjoy this beautiful fire, and get back outside tomorrow in my hammock. I got one of them water filter straws, and it comes with 2 little bags as well, so you can attach the straw to that. But I've not got to you. Maybe this is the guests. There was no one there. I don't know if that's just the people fucking with me or something. I don't know if that's something they do. But I don't think it would be that family. It was just a dad and his daughter and son. Oh well, we'll see. It was just knocking on the door again, and then I went out.
Logan heard a clustering sound from outside his room, and he was fully aware that he wasn't the only person there, because of the family. This is why he assumed that one of them had done it, but after leaving and investigating the scene, he found out there was nobody there, and the family were fast asleep. This was frightening for obvious reasons, but as a non-believer in spirits, Logan assumed the cause were rodents, and he couldn't care less about an infestation due to him leaving the bothy a day later. This was not all he had to suffer, though.
It was just knocking on the door again, and then I went out, but there was no one there, so I don't know what's going on, but I've not heard of any haunted bobbies or anything. I've never had weird shit. Fuck's sake. I just wanted a nice little bobby night. If you've watched all my videos before, you know I don't do shit like this. Fun night. And they're walking around into the room, and then I go in there, and it just stops. Maybe I just put my music on really loud and forget about it. Yeah. So it's been about an hour and a half since I last made a video, and I've just been doing what I said. I've had my music on loud, I've listened to Blink, some drum and bass, some reggae, and I'm doing what I came here to do, and that's have a good fucking night. So I'm going to enjoy my time by this fire and have an amazing day tomorrow, back out in nature where I belong. So peace and love, good night. Good morning, had a bit of an experience last night, not really sure what was going on. Thought it was just people knocking the door and running away that were camping nearby, but it didn't seem like that when I went outside. Couldn't really explain what was happening next door with the noises, but I'm not really a believer in ghosts myself. It was a bit creepy, but I'm more of an alien guy. But if you are into ghosts and all that paranormal stuff, these are not the videos for you, because this is not what I do, this is not what I'm about. I'm just a...
Paired alongside the bangs was a new noise, and these ones came from next door. Out of utter curiosity, Logan ventured outside to find the cause, but to his dismay, nobody was there. He did not think that this was a spirit, but I like to think it was. Comment your thoughts down below. The following video was captured by a man who had only recently moved house, and to say he was going through a tough time would be putting things lightly. In the past 3 months, his mother, grandfather, and uncle had passed away. His girlfriend left him, and he had to help with the planning for all 3 funerals, so stress levels were through the roof. What people need in times like these is some peace and quiet, and the man tried his hardest to obtain it. However, the fact that he was moving to another house alongside a second factor that you're about to be showcased made this impossible. Here is the second factor.
Jackson is like laser ass focused on this right now. He won't, like, you alright? I know. You think something's wrong. I don't know. I hear noises, but I'm not even sure. Are you f***ing kidding me right now? There is no way that just happened. There is no way that just happened. There is no way. What's wrong with you?
First of all, an item flew across the room as if a spirit had launched it, and the man claimed to have felt a cool breeze of air when it happened, which is a huge telltale for ghosts in the area. Furthermore, the dog looked extremely unsettled, and just as it started to bark the door, it was becoming aggressive towards closed on its own accord, practically confirming the case to the man. He sent it to his family group chat and his friendship group chat, and one of them posted it to social media. We are lucky that this was the case, or the clip would have never made its way back. Glamping is a method of going on holiday outdoors, and it is derived from the 2 words glamorous and camping. This is because it is an outdoor adventure that involves indoor accommodation, so it's much easier than the actual thing. The video that you are about to see was taken by Talia, a young woman who wanted to go glamping with nobody other than her dog after an argument back at home. Everything went smoothly until roughly 11 p.m. when something terrifying occurred out of seemingly nowhere.
Come on, baby. Yeah, let's go. We spots? Was that Dalmatian? Okay, okay. You just wanted to be in the video. Say hey. We may have to go inside. Yeah, because what is that? Let's go inside. Let's go inside. It sounds super far away, but like... No, what is that? Yo, come on. Come on, yo. He came inside so fast. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but we in for the night. We in for the night.
A scream of pain and suffering, presumably from a little girl, echoed around the entire woodlands, and it was no surprise that it reached the ears of Talia. She was horrified and instantly rushed into her camper van and beckoned the dog to do the same, to which it obeyed. The next day, once she woke up, they drove all the way back home and vowed never to come back to these woods again. This was not the only haunting experience from this location. The woods were located in Alapatian, and it was known for one peculiar word, hey. This is because there have been several complaints from people paying to stay in the woods regarding hearing that word, whispered down their ears at random intervals, but Manby suspect that it is a marketing scheme from the owners to bring more people down. Well, this video, filmed by Ali, begged to differ. Have a watch.
Such a beautiful day.
Yes. That view was amazing.
Oh, so worth all the trouble.
Yeah.
The singular word, hey, could be heard whispered down her ear, but for some reason she wasn't able to pick up on the fact that it was said. She was too focused on the beautiful nature around her, as well as her phone, whilst she was filming it for a Snapchat group chat. It was one of her friends who asked her where they came from, and they were all in shock after hearing the backstory. The following video was captured inside of a haunted manor, and it was filmed by one of, if not the most famous ghost hunter on YouTube, Ian. If you have watched any other haunter videos from the last month, you will have seen Ian before, but put into a nutshell, he visited this location because it was very close to his house, and he makes an awful lot of money from his ghost hunts, so he might as well have. This is what he managed to capture.
The other rooms I haven't been to yet. Hello? Is anyone in here? See if anyone's in here. Hello? Anyone in here? What was that? What was that? That sounded like a man screaming. Oh, God. Hello? I really don't want to do this. Who's yelling? came from this way. Oh my god, what the fuck is that? Who's there? It's coming from this end of the building. Oh my god. Oh god, here we go. Hello? Hello? Who's up here?
All sorts of unhuman-like noises echoed around the house, and they were almost used as bait to guide Ian to wherever it deemed fit. It eventually took him to a mysterious corridor, where he heard even more sounds, but little did he know that the worst was yet to come. Subscribe to Haunter so you do not miss the next video, because Ian's exploration of the haunted manor will continue. Malls or shopping centers are locations that tend to be darling with life and joy, but trust me, there is nothing more eerie than a closed one late at night. If you ask any mall security guard to describe their job in 3 words, the word creepy will more than likely be one of them, and the video that I am going to showcase is part of this reason. The time was 2 a.m. and a security officer was patrolling around the local shopping center, specifically a clothing store. To his fortune, there were no intruders, but there were certainly some suspicions. Have a watch.
Ni apagaron las luces.
No sé. No hay nada, literalmente ni nadie. Aquí en la tienda, ni en esta plaza, ni nada. Pero hay algo que me llama mucho la atención dentro de este lugar. Desde hace un rato ya he estado viendo cómo se mueve una prenda en específico. No sé si puedan verla. Qué pedo. No mames. Literal no hay nadie. Estoy aquí solo. Y vean cómo se mueve. Oh, no mames. Qué pedo. No mames. No mames, se apagaron todo. Y esta madre se sigue moviendo. Oh, no te pases de lanza. Ya me alejé, pero ven cómo se sigue moviendo esto.
For some mysterious reason, one of the t-shirts started waving without any sort of human interaction, and it was clear that no visible force was acting upon it. Furthermore, as if the incident wasn't already frightening enough, the lights turned off, and they were not scheduled to do so at all on that night. The security guard contacted the team and asked them if they did this, to which they stated that they did not. The following video took place in the room of Elias Samael, and he was enjoying a nice and leisurely Sunday when all of a sudden a spirit decided to ruin it. Elias was watching the new episode of his favorite show on his mobile device and had been waiting months for it to release, and when it did, he watched it without any delay. He was ready to binge a minimum of 5 episodes, but to his dismay, a certain poltergeist had other ideas.
Amigos, tengo rato que escuché que me tocaron la puerta, pero yo pensé que era el señor que me renta. Pero no hay nadie, estoy solo y estoy viendo una película, pero algo como que me están tocando otra vez. verdad sí tengo miedo de todo esto que está pasando ahorita porque no sé cómo hacerle. ¿Qué hacer? Algo raro. No sé qué está pasando realmente. Esto no tenía por qué haberse movido. ¿Quién eres? ¿Qué quieres? Vete de aquí. Déjame en paz.
Now, if you could not tell, this was not Elias's first encounter with the paranormal world, and it would not be far-fetched to actually call him a regular victim. You can tell from the Ouija board alone that he has experimented with the world of ghosts previously, not to mention that his content has appeared on this channel in other episodes. In this specific video, some mysterious sounds were being broadcasted behind the door, and they were followed by the collapse of several cups within the room. It was blatantly obvious that the cause of these events were a spirit, and unfortunately, there was nothing that Elias could do about it. Suggest some ideas for him down below in the comments. Omar was a strong believer in Jesus Christ and Christianity as a whole, so it came as no surprise when he turned to the religion immediately after encountering spirits. The event happened on February the 5th of 2025, and Omar was doing an activity as simple as lying in bed. Suddenly, he heard something scraping against the ground, and the name of his dead grandfather was whispered down his ear, but the only evidence that he had of this was his own word. It was because of this that he quickly forged a cross to protect him, in case something else randomly happened, and soon enough, it did.
Plebes, son las 3 de la mañana, plebes. Escuché el ruido, plebes. ¿Hay alguien en la pura puerta de mi cuarto, plebes? No sé quién demonios sea, pero me está dando mucho miedo, plebes. Marqué, quise marcar a mi familia. El teléfono me sonaba como si no estuviera en línea. Espíritu Padre que estás en el cielo. Plebes, no mames, plebes. Se está meneando mi calentadora, plebes. No.
The radiator crawled across the floor towards Omar, and he was extremely lucky to have captured such a phenomenon on camera. The only downside to this video was the fact that the cross in which Omar was holding failed to frighten the spirit into leaving him alone, meaning that whatever he was facing must have been a fairly powerful demon, or perhaps just his grandfather, considering the whisper. Abdul has had several features on this channel before, and it is more than obvious at this point that whatever is haunting him is here to stay. It all started several weeks ago when he began to hear some odd noises from downstairs during the night, but ever since that moment, things have just continuously gotten far worse. Nowadays, he does random checkup videos, where he will take his phone out and film the entirety of his house in case something happens, and he has gained a heap of videos from this routine. The video that you are moments away from seeing is one of them. Take a look.
Se han estado escuchando ruidos en toda la casa y de alguna forma no sé si esté tratando de decirme algo de una forma más directa. Se escucha más aquí en la sala y en la recámara he tratado de dejar harina también en la sala, en las sillas en todos lados porque ha habido más movimiento. Pero las campanas ya... ¡Ay, cabrón! Esto también es lo que quería decir, o sea, Cookie ha estado cambiando de posición en toda la recámara y... pues no sé a qué se deba. Solo ocurre en la recámara. Esto también ha estado sucediendo. Incluso dejé un poco de harina en lo que es el asiento y... pero no logro distinguir mucho. Voy a tratar de leer esta misma hoja con más calma en otro momento. Y bueno, pues murmullo una chinga. Me cerraron la ventana. Pero aquí se escuchan los murmullos y a ver, no pienso abrir la puerta en esta ocasión. Definitivamente no.
All around the house, weird stuff were happening, and in the life of Abdul, this was probably something that he would consider to be on the more light side of things. Usually, his spirit would launch items from across the room in his direction, but this time around, the worst that things got was the turning of a chair. Still scary for the average viewer, nonetheless though. Steve and his beloved wife were a happy couple for many years, and at one point it seemed as if no one or nothing would be able to pull them apart. No matter how many embarrassing things they did, or how many mistakes one of them made, they would always apologize and make up with each other, which was honestly really wholesome to see. However, there is one type of creature that holds the power to ruin things as powerful as love, and this is a poltergeist. Steve started to continuously hear knocking from doors all around the house when his wife was not in, and she thought that he was becoming a psychopath. It was because of this that she left the house and put it on Steve to fend for himself, who had a new ambition to prove the existence of something in the house. After putting motion sensors in the basement, he waited, and eventually, he was rewarded.
It's like 11 p.m. I just got out of the shower, about ready to go to bed, and this keeps going off. That's the motion detector in the crawl space. I am scared to death to watch the footage from the camera down there. But we gotta do it. I've been putting this off all day, but it's about to get dark soon, so we need to go down there. This is the last thing that I want to do, but I don't really have a choice. Okay, right over there is where I saw the thing. What was that?
This was a highly disturbing video, and after the footage was checked, Steve regretted his decision of taking action deeply. He would have rather not known that there was a literal demon hiding in his basement, and continued to hear knocking despite it slowly driving him insane. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and a time that many choose to refer to as the witching hour. The man recording the video was working alone in the small, dimly lit room. The stillness of the night surrounded him, and the soft glow of his screen illuminated the space. He had been working all night, getting lost in his boring task of guarding the facility, when suddenly the silence was abruptly broken. He heard running footsteps from somewhere down the hall, and presumably nearby to the stairs. His eyes darted toward the sound. It was odd. No one else was supposed to be in the building. Eager to find the source of the footsteps, he approached them and investigated. Surprisingly, though he found nothing, the footsteps stopped, leaving only the sound of his breathing. He shook his head, chalking it up to the late hour, but then something else. A soft moan echoed from down the hall. It was low, almost inhuman, and it sent a chill crawling up his spine. He froze, listening intently, waiting for something more, but everything went quiet again before the lights turned off. The man who captured both of these upcoming clips had the birth name of Ian, but his alias was the Midwest Ghost Hunter. This is because he traveled all the land of the Midwest in order to expose the true nature of paranormal activity, and this involved visiting a lot of well-known haunted landmarks. The place that Ian decided to explore in the video that you are about to be exposed to was a haunted manor of which the lore goes way too deep to explain. You don't need lore to understand that this place was beyond haunted though, and if you do not believe me, then take a look for yourself.
Got a K2 meter here. I'm gonna see if I can get any responses from Captain Jacob Colors' ghost. Captain Colors, are you here with me tonight? You were the owner of this building back when it was a hotel. They say that your spirit is still here. Is there any truth to that? If so, could you touch the green light? Is it okay that I'm here? Whoa. Whoa. Oh my God, that was a deep thump in this wall here. Is that a yes? Or is it a no? That was weird. I don't know what to think of that. Definitely surprised me though. That was a loud thump. Thump in this wall. Oh God.
Whilst Ian was interrogating the framed image on the wall, looking for answers as to whether he still haunted the building, a large thump was heard from the wall behind it. This coincidentally came after he inquired for an answer, which led him to believe that this was the spirit's way of implying the answer, yes. This was backed up by a sighting just shortly after.
Are there any former residents still living here? Hello? Oh my God! Oh my God! There was somebody over there! Holy shit! I literally just saw a figure peek out of that room over there. It peeked out and it was looking right at me. Holy shit! Who are you? I just seen you. Could you peek out again? Okay, there's definitely somebody in there, which means I have to go check it out. Ooh, yay. Who's in?
Ian saw the figure of what was presumably a poltergeist peek around the corner of a hallway at him, and he was very taken aback by this, because if you know one thing about the paranormal, it should be that apparitions are extraordinarily rare. This was followed up by some mysterious noises that further confirmed the presence of an entity to Ian. Funerals are when you manage to capture people at their lowest points, and this is because these events are very depressing. Losing a loved one is mentally scarring for everybody, and hence why nobody is in a good mood at these events, but at least the majority are not haunted. The only thing that is worse than a funeral is a haunted one, and the attendees of the funeral that this clip came from would agree with this. Have a watch. The white balloon started to drift towards the wife of the man who died, and she almost sensed that it was her husband doing this. While the majority of the people at the funeral were given the creeps by this incident, she held the balloon close, knowing that it was likely her husband of 20 years, saying his final goodbyes. This would be why she broke down into even more tears. The following video took place very early in the morning at a convenience store that had absolutely no business being haunted. It was a super irrelevant store, and no form of spiritual events had ever been recorded there, making it the last place a gambler would put their money on being haunted. However, despite the odds being low, they were not at zero, and one day, while two members of staff were preparing to open the store for the day, they experienced this.
Nos encontramos aquí en mi trabajo. Al fondo se observa una cámara de refrigeración donde parte de la tarde se han estado abriendo y cerrando solitas las puertas. Hay momentos que se calma, pero de repente empiezan otra vez a abrirse y cerrarse. Me voy a mover para allá para ver de cerca a ver si qué pasa. Nos vamos acercando a la cámara. Jorgito es uno de mis compañeros de aquí de trabajo. ¿Qué pasó, hijo? ¿Qué se cayó? Vean. Vean, ahí ya empezaron a abrir también. Vean, observen. Híjole. Vamos a tratar de no acercarnos, Jorgito, porque... Vean cómo se están abriendo las puertas. Vamos a ver de aquel lado. Ahí se ve cómo se están abriendo y cerrando. Toda la tarde estaba pasando esto, e inclusive ya hay gente que se dio cuenta, clientes. Y híjole, la verdad sí es un poco temeroso. Ya le hablé a mi supervisor para que vean, ya le hablé a mi supervisor para que observara, viniera a ver esto que está pasando. No me cree, pero digo, quedó de venir, hasta ahorita no ha venido. Y no nos hemos atrevido a ir a la parte de atrás en la cámara porque pues nos da un poco de temor, ¿no? Porque pues esto es algo sobrenatural. Pero vamos, Jorgito, allá atrás a ver qué pasa. Vean. Vamos a ver qué pasa. Vamos a arriesgarnos a ir. Vamos a arriesgarnos porque a ver qué pasa. Esta es la parte de la entrada de la cámara. Vamos a ver qué pasa. O sea, ahora sí que... Ay, dijo, no sé si oyeron. Jorgito, ve a ver, hijo. Mira. ¿Sí? Veamos qué pasa.
Strangely, the refrigerator doors continued to open and close themselves whilst they were being filmed, and it was almost as if they had a mind of their own. The two members of staff were freaked out by this for obvious reasons, and immediately alerted their manager over text message. Unfortunately, their manager did not take this quote excuse and demanded that they continue working for the day or they would be fired from the job. Was the boss in the wrong? Let me know in the comments. Alonso was a well-known ghost hunter within his community, and almost everybody came to him when they had a problem regarding the spiritual world. With his strong portfolio and muscular build, nobody could say no to him and his services. But one day, a mission got a little bit too difficult for his liking. It took place on a Sunday, and he was being paid extremely high money to work this day. It was immediately after entering the supposedly haunted vicinity that he caught this phenomenon on camera.
Victoriano, saludos. Carolina. ¡Ay, no madre! ¡Uy, qué fue eso! Perdón, amigos, grité como mujer. Grité como mujer. ¿Hay alguien ahí? Buenas noches. Grité como mujer, amigos. Buenas noches. ¿Quién eres? ¿Hay alguien? ¿Hay alguien ahí? Buenas noches. ¿Qué fue eso? Uy. No mames, no hay nadie. ¿Hay alguien? ¿Hay alguien? No hay nadie aquí. Se me desenfocó.
It was very clear that some sort of spirit was behind the door, and anybody in their right minds would agree with me on that statement. This was the first telltale sign that what Alonso was dealing with was in fact a real threat, and he should approach the rest of the task with caution. Subscribe to the channel, as this was only one clip from a long mission made by Alonso, and his story will be further developed in our next video. Similar to another clip in this video, our next video was captured by somebody working in a store, except this time it was the manager who experienced the event. The time was 10 at night, and he had come to the store to make sure that the cleaning staff had done their job on his weekly checkup that came on a random day to attempt to catch them out if they were slacking. The cleaners did a decent job, but there were some critiques that the manager managed to pick out, and he was about to call his staff members and explain it to them. Little did he know that he was not going to be able to do that.
Ya. ¿Qué hora es? Van a ser 10 para las 2. Y algo me tiene intrigado. Iremos a grabar. Carrito me estaba molestando harto rato y de verdad que no sé si es verdad lo que me dicen de acá. No sé qué onda. Vamos a hacérnoslo. Hay algo sí que me molesta. madre. Oh. Bacán.
At the very end of the clip, the shopping cart moved on its own accord, which was disturbing to say the least. It was obvious that no visible force was acting upon the shopping cart, so whatever caused this must have not been visible to the human eye, leading me to believe it was an external entity, also known as a spirit. The following incident took place on an ordinary Tuesday evening in a small apartment building that had no reputation for being haunted. It was the kind of place where nothing out of the ordinary ever happened. No spooky rumors, no strange noises in the middle of the night, and certainly no tales of ghostly apparitions. In short, it was the last place anyone would expect something supernatural to occur. But as the old saying goes, never say never. Zach, a laid-back guy who preferred to unwind in his room after a long day, was minding his business when all of a sudden this happened.
Oh, fucking hella trash. But that's no reason for fucking shit to... That's no reason for to occur, you douchebag. You fucking ass. Bro, chill. Easily explainable. Maybe I knocked down your shit. There was a whole situation where I moved. Where I moved your fucking...
Suddenly, a few items fell from the kitchen counter right in front of his very eyes. Startled, Zach sat up straight. He turned his head towards the items cautiously and knew that something was up. It was obvious that no items were acting upon the countered property. A purple snap is a feature on Snapchat that refers to a user sending a video to one of their friends. These are very useful for sending short and quirky videos to people in search of a quick laugh or an awe, and this is all Roger wanted to do. He was home alone and texting a girl, so he thought that it would be a good idea for him to start filming his dogs doing tricks before giving them each a treat to spark some more conversation. Now, on a surface level, there was absolutely nothing wrong with this idea, and nothing could have gone wrong, but of course you're watching a haunter video, so something terrible must have happened. Take a look for yourself.
Sit. Good girls. Pow! Pow! Whatever. Let me get you a treat. Alright, wait. There it is. There you go. That was weird. Okay.
The drawer took it upon itself to open whilst Roger was in the room, and this sent him into a state of utter and complete shock. He quickly saved the snap to his camera roll and planned to upload it to YouTube, which is how I actually managed to get my hands on it. It is an unexplainable clip, and I cannot think of any way in which he could have made it up, but of course feel free to prove me wrong in the comment section. After uploading the footage to YouTube, Roger expected nothing more than a few likes and a bit of advice, but when little to nothing came from it, and nobody helped him out, he lost all sense of hope. Fortunately, the spirit had not made a second appearance, and it seemed to be a one-time instance, but just as this thought came to his head, this clip was taken. Afterwards, Roger decided that he was not going to tolerate this poltergeist for any longer and dialed a friend of a friend who happened to be a ghost hunter. They are currently in the process of cleansing the house of all demons, and we can only hope that Roger is okay soon. Leaving your house and becoming independent can be a difficult time for everybody, and it is pretty obvious as to why. The change from having your parents do everything for you to becoming completely self-reliant is super overwhelming, and this was the case for the young Russian man in our next video. He had only recently moved out into his own home and was rather confident about the switch of lifestyle. Perhaps he should have been more cautious though, because what actually went down whilst he was alone was not nice at all. Just 3 days in, this was recorded. All around his new home, things started to happen, and I bet he wished he had his mother's shoulder to cry on. He actually called his parents and asked to move back in to recover from this stressful experience, to which they fortunately took him in. I mean, fortunately. The following video was captured by Franco, an Italian man who loved the idea of exploring as much nature as physically possible. Around nature, he felt like he was in his element, and barely anything managed to scare him until the day that this clip was taken. He was in some form of woodland area and came across the entrance to a cave, so he entered it. He expected a hostile animal as a worst-case scenario and approached the cave with caution, but once he got in, this was not what he would be facing.
Allora, è veramente impressionante. E poi è scavata come una bara. Ed è scavata dall'uomo, vedete? A picconate proprio. È strettissima. È molto bassa, molto piccola, e ci sono queste nicchie che non so che cosa sono. Avete sentito? È angustissima, angustissima. Io mi fermerò a un certo punto perché non ce la faccio, sento. Merda. No, aiuto. Porca puttana. Aiuto. Allora, ragazzi, è da tornare, ma almeno con un caschetto. C'è stato il momento che ho sentito un bruttissimo rumore in fondo. Non so quanto sia profonda, però è una cava, cioè deve essere una miniera. Quindi tornerò con Jack e con qualche informazione in più. No, è assurda. Veramente assurda. Sembra l'ingresso.
Some sort of whistling sound could be heard in the cave, and Franco made sure to search it all. He thought that perhaps somebody who was in need of help would be at the end, but to his dismay, there was not a soul in sight. He claimed to have felt a cold feeling overwhelm him that night, which further adds to the theory that this was a haunt, and Franco never ventured into these specific woods again. Ghost hunting is a task that only the bravest of people undertake, because these paranormal creatures are the least researched entities on the planet. Not only can we not see them, but we also have no clue what they truly are, so respect is due for these brave adventurers. The ones in this next video were working for the YouTube channel, Proving Demons, who have a self-explanatory goal. They want to prove the existence of entities beyond the human eye living on our planet. Throughout this video, they were searching an old mine shaft that was so ridiculously haunted that they believed it to be some sort of portal to hell. Have a watch.
So what these two are doing are periodically stopping to check the safety of the mine. These guys seem to be very knowledgeable in mines. Which I guess in general would make me feel safer about the whole situation. Not very often we have actual tunneling, knowledgeable people in tunneling with us. Welcome everyone to the gates of hell. I don't even know if God can help us beyond this point. Welcome to the gates of hell, everybody. We're in.
Alright, go on, Andrew. You going for that?
I am wrong. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Oh, God. Tight spaces all of a sudden.
This gate was known as the Gate of Hell, and beyond this point was where every single paranormal recording in the mine had been captured. The crew knew that they were in for some frights, but nothing could have prepared them for the sheer magnitude of them.
Makes my stomach queasy. It's all right. Keep marching through, because it's EVP time. Oh God, I'm not even kidding. I honestly feel sick to my stomach. Dead silence. What was that? Is that wind? I honestly feel like I'm gonna throw up. Let's just keep moving. Hello? Is there anybody down here with me? Can you make a noise? I hear like moaning or wailing. Like dead serious. Is that something there?
The crew decided that going separate ways would be the most efficient way to capture paranormal activity, and so they all went down different mine routes. This clip was the first one caught. The man heard some wailing or howling noises coming from down the shaft, and was immediately aware of the potential that this was a spirit. He took out a device of his to confirm this, and it did tell him that something was there, but unfortunately, it did not react when asked to do something else. Frightened but still motivated to collect more evidence for the crew, the man continued down this path, and the next set of sounds were much more terrifying.
You guys, I can hear what sounds like a drum beat. And moaning. What the hell is that? Oh God, it's getting louder. Do you hear that? Oh God, I don't like that. Crap, I need to try and catch some of it on recorder. There's some hellish noises going on. Oh God, I can't go that way though. I just heard like a whisper, well, like a breathing. I don't want to be near that though. Screw that. Screw that. I'll take the whispering over the demon chants. Thank you very much. Oh. God, I hope I'm going the right way. Oh, crap. Just carefully get away. I don't like that. I do not like that. Freaking demonic sounding chanting. Screw that.
From moaning as if someone was in agony to demonic ritual sounding noises, the man was understandably freaked out by the situation and made it his goal to escape as quickly as possible. Fortunately, he did get out of the mine unscathed and had to wait 30 minutes for the rest of the group to re-emerge. They got an entertaining YouTube video from this experience, but at what cost? In recent times, cave diving has become a viral activity that has all sorts of crazy clips being released about it. It is an extremely dangerous hobby that people can be dragged towards and has caused many deaths, and the video that you are going to be exposed to shortly was a horrific example. Fortunately, the man involved did not pass away during this incident and made it out okay, and I will explain why after you take a look for yourself.
Out. Come here. Come on. Come on. Go. Misty. What do you think about this, Misty? Keep looking. Stay behind me. What the fuck is that? Oh shit! Go, 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 go! Come on, Misty! Come on, Misty!
Him and his dog were deep into the cave when eventually they came across a group of bats. Bats are very diseased creatures, so the dog's owner decided that they should turn back on themselves, but this is when they came across something far scarier. A tall, uncanny figure standing in the cave, which surely could not have belonged to a real human. The duo turned around and went to find another exit, which you will be glad to hear they did, and have lived the rest of their lives since with joy. On October the 18th of 2009, Jack Slaughters, somebody who enjoyed exploring places, decided that he was going to pay a visit to the Blue Ghost Tunnel. As you can probably decipher from the name of the location, this place was renowned for its ghost sightings and spooky hauntings, so Jack could not help but test these claims out. Instead of going in all alone, he got his girlfriend to come with him so that if one of them became injured, the other could help. And to his surprise, she actually agreed to tag along. Would this place turn out to be nothing but a rumor, or would it truly give Jack and his girlfriend the fright of their lives? You'll have to watch to find out.
So we're going on a road trip right now to the ghost tunnels, Blue Ghost Tunnels in St. Catharines area, and we're going to check out what we can find on the outside of the tunnel. We're not going to really go into the tunnel because we didn't bring a flashlight, but we're going to try to get as close as possible to where all this stuff happens. I'll tell you when we get there what actually happened. A lot of people died, so that's where we're headed right now. If you point the camera that way, you can see that it's fall time, so it's a good time to go. It's a little chilly out today, but we'll see what we find out there. Okay, we'll see you by the tunnel. Yeah, this is it. The Blue Ghost Tunnel. Get a further back view of it. I can hear your footsteps. I don't know if the camera could pick this up, but listen in the background. I've just been informed that there's no trains in this area anymore. And it disappears. I'm gonna go a little bit further in the tunnel. If I don't come back in 5 minutes, just wait longer. So I came back in the tunnel for a second time. So I'm trying to find the other side of how you get to the other side. I can see a light at the end of this tunnel, but I can't see where the bridge and the tunnel intersect. If that's you coming closer to me, could you please stop? I just seen a light at the end of the tunnel. What the f? Hello? What the f was that? That was weird though. That whole side of the tunnel lit up like a flashlight. So now we went 3/4 of the way down the tunnel. We can't go any further because there's water down there. There's like a river. But where we started was way back there, where you can see the light. And where I saw that light was like over here where it's lit up a little bit, but there was a flashlight. There's no possible way anybody could have got down here because that area is blocked off with water. So I don't know how the heck I seen that. So what did you think of this place? It's scary in here. You can feel like the tension. Yeah, we'll wait till they come back. So we did come and see the Blue Ghost tunnels. We seen a little bit more than we expected.
The duo expected nothing more than a few moving objects and some odd noises, but they quickly discovered that they had company in the tunnel. The light indicated that somebody or something was on the other end, and after inquiring to some people at surface level, they hadn't seen anyone else go in. Spooky stuff. Jose and his friends loved bike riding, and when one of them asked the group chat for a late-night ride, not a single one of them rejected the offer. It sounded amazing because they could travel the woods and the roads with little to no pedestrians or cars causing them to slow down. So before the incident that you are going to see happened, it was their best bike ride ever. Of course though, this is a haunter video, so something occurred that made this ride not so fun. And here it is.
Cuidado cuando salgan a las rodadas nocturnas.
What appeared to be the apparition of a woman showed herself at the side of the bikers' trail, and this severely put them off. After seeing the apparition, they all started to ride much faster and came to a halt shortly after the incident. They all discussed what they had seen and drew the conclusion that it was likely a weird light reflection, but I believe this was just them attempting to make themselves feel better. This was certainly a ghost, and I am sure that you would agree. The following video took place in the Horton Mine, a place that had never been logged to have held any paranormal events. The man who was about to explore the baseline of the mine was called Steve, and he was not there for any reason other than he enjoyed exploring places such as this. But this time around, it was not about to be a fun experience. Steve has been inside over 100 abandoned mines, and not a single one of them has given off the energy that this one did. So he knew that something was up, and this video proved his theory.
Okay, here's a lower adit at the Victorine mine. I believe this was an older mine that once they dug the upper tunnels, this got incorporated into the same claim or whatever. I forget what this was called, this particular mine entrance here, but this one's got a little bit of water in it coming out of it. Not much. Okay, here's a shot looking down the adit from just inside the portal. And some water here and there. So I'll go up here just a little bit further and see if it dries out any. Okay, a little further inside the tunnel here. There's still water. You can see it really flowing here in front of me, right here, and this coming out here, out the tunnel. I'll go a few feet further in and check it out, but I think I'm going to pass on this one. This is one of the creepiest mine tunnels I've ever been in, just because of how dilapidated it is and all these chains hanging down from the overhead, and there's a shot looking down the tunnel even further a bit. And taking a look around here back at the entrance, which is there. Okay, here's a shot looking back towards the entrance. I'm a little bit further in, and looking down the tunnel here. I don't know why that one chain is swinging back there. Don't know if you can see that in the video or not. Yeah, this mine definitely has a very spooky vibe to it. So I'm gonna head back out and check out the other stuff that's here. This is just too wet and too muddy. And obviously something is making the chains swing. So time to get the hell out of here.
After watching this clip, many people doubted it and believed that Steve was nothing but a faker who wanted more exposure on his exploration content. Due to all of this controversy, the science television program Strange Evidence aired the clip in a Season 3 episode and deemed the video as legit, making it fairly believable. After this incident, Steve went back to his normal job of visiting mines across the country and documenting their insides for his audience to see. The experiences followed the trend and also returned to normal ones, but quite some time later, another paranormal incident was posted.
So let's head back out. Sometimes we can see stuff on the way out that we missed coming in because we were facing the wrong direction. But yeah, this is crazy. These timbers up there. That's really dangerous. So we'll get through here as fast as we can and get out of here before this all comes down. Here's that ore chute again. I gotta get past this chute. Wow, crazy. And then you can see how big these timbers are. That's about almost a foot in diameter, the big cross timber. So they had to put big ones in here to hold up all of this rock. And you can see right here where some of these boards are bending. Do you hear that? Sounds like, what, is that wind? I don't know if you can hear that on the camera. Do you hear that? It stopped. Well, I don't know what that is. That doesn't sound like wind, but that's crazy. Don't know if that's a bird or I don't know what that is. It almost sounds like snakes, but wow. I've heard some weird stuff in mines, but that is definitely creepy. I don't know what that is. So let's get out of here and head back out to the portal. That was weird. I don't hear it. Wow, that was strange. All right, so, Jesus. That's the wall deck mine, main haulage tunnel, and this is the through night TN12 flashlight review and demonstration. So, highly recommended. The only one thing I could think of would be that it might need a diffuser tip because see how it makes a white spot, kind of washes everything out. So, well, I think
This is the same video with the enhanced audio effect to help you better understand.
Where some of these boards are bending. Do you hear that? Sounds like is that wind? Can you? I don't know if you can hear that on the camera. Do you hear that? It stopped. Wow. Wow. I don't know what that is. That doesn't sound like wind, but that's crazy. Don't know if that's a bird or I don't know what that is. It almost sounds like snakes, but I've heard some weird stuff in mines, but that is definitely creepy. I don't know what that is. So let's get out of here and that was weird.
The spirit said all sorts of spooky things such as, "Hear us, get out of this place," and even asked if he could hear them. This was a surreal experience and caused Steve to exit the mine instantly. Fortunately, it did not completely put him off his hobby, but it definitely made him more curious for future circumstances. I swear, man. These cave divers are doing everything except trying to survive, bro. These guys could hear about a cave called Death Valley, with a kill count of over 300, and still think it sounds like a cool adventure. Like, look at this guy.
Pushing it down. It's getting lower.
It's getting lower? Buddy, it's already low as fuck.
This is not good. Like, legit, to move forward, I have to dig the rocks out. Oh my god. If this ceiling even collapses, like,
An inch, I'm squished like a bug.
You might as well try to crawl under a door at that point because that width is crazy work. The thing is that this guy probably has a wife and 2 kids with a $600,000 salary job and still thought that he could survive this. Cave divers need to be stopped. The following video was captured in a hospital somewhere in South America, and the moment perfectly captivates the fear of a member of staff. Operating on what she believed to be a regular old shift, she assumed all she would be doing was treating a few patients and then making her way back home. But this time around, when it became late, the most unexpected thing possible happened.
Ahí está, ya la aprendí, ¿qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa?
Ay, no. Salí de la pieza a las 4, hace un pozo cuando salí tenía otra. Cuando vine para acá, se me empezó a pegar, boludo. Me pegué un pedazo y ahora lo veo.
Empieza la estática, boludo. Está lejos.
Está viniendo para acá.
Ay, la concha de la lora. La pibita de la camacita me dijo que le tocaron la pierna, que le apretaron la pierna. Ay, mierda, se viene para acá.
Pero se viene para acá, pero tú no. ¿Ha prendido el aire algo?
¿Qué sé yo? Sí, creo que sí.
¿Tomá el pirito?
No, me fui a la mierda, la concha de la lora. Ahí está.
Asoma
Pase
el
largo, boludo.
¿Sí?
No. Ay, la concha de la lora. ¡Ay, la puta que te parió!
Now, it is pretty difficult to decipher what this video was actually about, but to put it easily, that orange ball must have been some form of spirit. Purely based on the reactions of the staff members in the area, this never happened in the hospital before, so it is more than safe to assume it was an anomaly, but it is the type of anomaly that we are unsure about. The nurse and her assistant both showcased the final video to their boss, who surprisingly did not show any sympathy towards them. They continued to work in the hospital, but this moment remained engraved in their mind. This next video is very old compared to the other ones that I tend to discuss on this channel, but just as creepy as the rest. It took place in a clinic whilst 2 nurses had 10 minutes to kill. They had just finished treating a patient and needed to wait for their next one to arrive, and this explains why they were laughing and messing around. Despite the vibes being through the roof, and both nurses seemingly having a great time though, some sort of exterior entity did not seem to be fond of the joy that they were experiencing and interrupted by doing this.
Es que te estoy enfocando a las boobies. Ah, no mames.
¿Qué?
Pasó algo.
¿Qué pasó? No mames.
A ver, ven. No mames, pasó algo, te lo juro que pasó algo,
Se mueve, se mueve.
Vete a la verga.
Yo no voy.
No mames.
The male nurse heard a bang from the neighboring room, so decided that it would be the smart move to go and investigate. You always have to be alert for things like this in case a patient is trying to escape, or some form of intruder is trying to break in. But of course, as you and I both know, it was none of these things. The trolley in the room slid away from the man, and the female nurse quickly sprinted out of the room, not wanting to claim any negative energy from the spirit. And can you really blame her? If any of us came across an event like this, I guarantee we would be out of there as quickly as possible. Now, unlike the other 2 hospitals where the clips so far have taken place, the clip that you are about to be exposed to happened in an abandoned one. This meant that it was not being operated, and nobody, not even the person filming, should have been in there making the event that happened more unexplainable than the rest. The time was 1 a.m. in the morning, and the man behind the camera was attempting to capture some content for views. He hoped to come across some mild activity, but nothing too frightening, and what he did end up coming across was shocking. Have a watch. The ICU door continued to open and close without any sort of interaction from humans or objects alike, meaning that an invisible force must have been acting on it. For your information, there was no window or source of wind in this area of the hospital, so before you begin to start typing about that being the cause, then stop. But I get why you would think that. Ironically, after this event, the man behind the camera decided that this kind of stuff certainly wasn't for him, and he decided to upload the video. To his shock, it actually did quite well, and if he carried on with the paranormal videos, then it is likely he would have seen great success, but in the end, it just was not worth it. The upcoming video was captured using CCTV, which is a useful tool that helps mankind with many things. Whether it is catching criminals or making sure your children are not misbehaving, these camera systems are amazing for everyday use, but every now and then they catch some wild things. By wild things, I am referring to poltergeists, and you would be surprised to find out how many ghosts are really caught, not with the naked human eye, but through a lens. With that said, this video is one of those instances, and it was very strange to say the least. An apparition of a child appeared in the room with the family, and it was very disturbing how all of the people present on scene just strolled past it, like it was nothing. The implications of this was that none of them could actually see the spirit, and it was only showing itself to the camera in order to frighten the security team sitting behind it. And based on the reaction coming from behind the woman's camera, it definitely succeeded in this job. Since the CCTV did not allow her to replay the scenario, her only form of evidence that this happened was her mobile phone, so she was very smart to have filmed the whole incident, or who knows whether they would have believed her or not. Visiting your elders in hospital can be one of the most saddening and down-putting visits of your life. Due to their old age and ill condition when you make these visits, there is absolutely no guarantee that you are going to see them again afterwards, so it is very important to make it count. However, despite this being an extremely rare incident, sometimes things go well for the relative, but not so well for the visitor, and this happened in the video that I am going to show you very shortly. In a deep and heartfelt moment between father and son, the father suddenly begins to move again, which gives the son hope, but at what cost?
What?
As his father began to move and show signs of being awake and functional again, the device which was responsible for monitoring the father's heartbeat slid towards the bed. This startled the poor son, who for a moment had the fear that his father had passed, and this was his spirit's way of saying goodbye. But fortunately, this was not the case. If the ghost was not his father, though then, who knew what it was and what its motives truly were? The sad reality is that we will never be able to find out. A common misconception regarding the paranormal world is that all poltergeists have to have bad intentions. This is because the only ghost stories that get true attention and media coverage are the ones where bad and crazy things happen because, well, let's face it, from an outside perspective, they are way more entertaining. There is on the other side a nice side to ghost videos, where the spirits are nothing but friendly and supportive towards their, quote, victims. For example, the ghost in the following video decided to pay a little visit to a young girl in a children's hospital, and unlike almost every scenario on this channel, it was rather wholesome. Enjoy.
Okay, go. Who is it?
It's so weird.
Is it you?
Is it me? It's not me.
It's motion sensor. There's no one over there. Okay, do it one more time.
Do it one more time, please.
Okay. One last time.
Okay. Wait, so are we friends now? Can you do it again if we're friends now?
Oh.
We're not friends? You don't like me? Okay.
Are you a doctor?
Are you a... Wait, so do it again if you're a doctor. Wait, are you messing with us or are you actually a doctor? I don't know. Are you just messing with us? Okay. Well.
I don't know.
The spirit was happy to communicate and have fun with the girl, keeping her entertained and distracted from the fact she was in a hospital. As someone who makes all of his videos on evil spirits, this was rather refreshing to watch, and certainly acted as a nice reminder that not every poltergeist has to be evil. If you enjoyed this clip, then make sure to comment about it, because I will include more positive encounters in future videos if that is what you guys would like. Moving away from such a bright topic and back onto the dismal side of the paranormal world, this video was caught on a mobile phone by a security guard at his hospital that he called work. His job was fairly easy, and he would go as far as to say he had life lucky. It was very rare that somebody would want to cause havoc in a hospital, so there were not really many security tasks to be doing at all. But of course, there had to be one night that ruined it all. Except this did not entail a security breach. It was 11 p.m. at night, and the hospital was starting to get quiet, but just as the guard was about to step down his game and start eating his snacks, one of the most unexpected events of his life happened. Let's see if you are as frightened by this clip as I was.
See, I fucking don't. No.
Out of the blue, the wheelchair slowly glided across the corridor, and the security guard was utterly mesmerized. Now I can already hear all of the doubters explaining that the video must have been staged. Otherwise, why would the guard have been filming this moment? Well, I will completely put this theory to one side, because the reasoning behind this makes a lot of sense. Apparently, whilst the guard was walking around the hospital, he thought to himself that the chair must have moved, so took out his phone to see if it would happen again. This perfectly explains why he somehow had his phone at the ready in this rare moment. Ghostly experiences are rare, full stop. But there is one form of paranormal activity that far exceeds the rareness of others. Of course, I am referring to apparitions. The whole real gimmick of spirits is that they can do things whilst you cannot see them performing these acts, which is what makes them spooky. If you could see somebody moving your water bottle, then you would likely be much less freaked out than if it just slid off the table without any interaction. Point proven. However, every so often these ghosts enjoy going to the next level in frightening their prey by revealing their uncanny and off-putting appearance, which happened in this clip. It was filmed by a ghost hunter hired by the local council to eradicate all of the unwanted entities within a hospital, and the pay was very high. It is important to note that the council promised the ghost hunter that no one else would be on site during the search, which was a very strict protocol of his. This made the clip very inexplicable. Along the corridor from the hunter, some sort of lanky black figure peeked around the door, and it was pretty clear that this was not the figure of a human. At first, the ghost hunter's mind failed to process what he had seen, but moments later, the picture replayed in his mind, and he doubled back his steps. After pausing the recording of the incident, he supposedly went down the corridor and into the room of which the figure came out of, but no human was inside. This was obviously the act of a spirit. The Brazilian police are no joke, and you would be very silly to mess with them. Unsurprisingly though, Brazil has its fair share of criminals, and this next clip took place during a thorough search for these gangsters. The police had been searching for a set group of criminals for months leading up to this incident, and when their moment finally came to capture them, they took no second chances. They quickly armed themselves before adventuring far from civilization to the supposed complex that the criminals resided in. But what they found was far from a group of gangsters and much more frightening. Have a watch.
Caralho, bicho, que é isso, mano? Cuidado, Judá. Cuidado, mano, que é isso, mano? Mano, não tem nada. Caralho, mano, que é isso, bicho? Caralho, mano. Mano, que é isso, bicho? Caralho, mano, bora, mano. Deus me livre, mano. Vai, mano, vai, mano. Vai, mano, vai, mano. Vai, mano. Corre. Caralho, mano, que é isso, bicho?
The officers heard some loud banging from further down the complex, so decided to go towards it, suspecting that this was the location that the criminals were hiding in. Once they arrived, they quickly realized that this was far from the case. The doors were continuously opening and closing without any sort of human interaction or visible force, which made things very freaky. Eventually, the cops realized that the place must have been some huge setup and no gang lived there. It was just a trap, luring them into one of Brazil's most haunted buildings. On July the 2nd of 2023, a video was uploaded to YouTube from Mexico, which would frighten all potential visitors from visiting the hospital of which it took place in. Before this video was uploaded, it was one of the most highly rated hospitals in the area, with the majority of patients wishing to be referred there. However, afterwards, all of this changed for the worse. Now you are probably wondering how dire the paranormal event must have been to cause such a drastic switch in the local community, and I must say that it was pretty horrible. The staff at the hospital are currently working with members of their local church, ghost experts and ghost hunters to resolve this issue. And if they fail to make any effect, the likelihood is that the place will need to close for good. Here is the clip.
No veo nada. Miren. Acaban de ver eso. Se acaba de caer un bote. Se está moviendo esto. No veo nada. No hay nadie por acá. No hay nadie por acá. A la una. Miren, se movió esto. Ahorita que venía caminando por acá. No veo a nadie. Miren. 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 Miren cómo se mueve eso. Para que vean que no hay nadie aquí.
For a place which has never received any form of complaint regarding the paranormal world, this was massive news, and people were confused as to what must have caused it. The fact that seemingly out of nowhere, a place could become haunted made zero sense. But when you use your brain, I guess it was kind of inevitable. The most likely place to become a place of paranormal activity is a hospital, because several families are ripped apart within them, which can anger a lot of the patients who unfortunately end up passing away. I guess their good service, based off all of the reviews, must have kept the deceased happy for quite some time, but something must have angered one of them, or none of this would have happened. In the following video, Sam, a man who lived alone but was planning on inviting his girlfriend, was at his house relaxing. If his invitation to his girlfriend became a success, then this was meant to be one of his last 3 days of living home alone, and whilst excited for his new adventure, he was making the most of his fading peace. Sam stopped leaving the house and binge-watched television all day, maximizing the power of living alone. But one day, a spirit came to ridicule his mood. Have a watch.
What the f***? What the f***?
First of all, the spirit began to aggressively rattle the handle to the door, and even started to gently knock against it. And as I mentioned, Sam was alone in this household. Curious, he went to investigate on the other side of the door, in case someone or something had broken in. But to his dismay, there was not a soul on the other side, at least not a visible one. Shortly after noticing the absence of an intruder, chairs began to move inside of the room, and this is when the knowledge hit Sam that he truly was being haunted, and there was nothing that he could do about it. Due to his lack of power and ability to resolve the situation, Sam came to the conclusion that he was going to pretend that nothing ever happened and move on with his life. He thought that there was a slim chance that the spirit would strike again, and the odds were that it was just a one-time event where a random poltergeist felt bored. Unfortunately, this was not the case, and just 2 days after this incident, whilst he was sitting on the toilet, this video was caught on camera.
Right, so I'm just in the toilet, and as you can hear, the door's rattling. So I feel quite trapped, but I'm gonna open it and see what happens. That would help if I actually unlocked the door, wouldn't it? Was that you? That couldn't have been you.
This time the door was rattling again, and he was quite quick to take out his phone to get the incident on tape. Sam slowly opened the door to reveal to the audience that nobody was behind it, to which he found his cat, which obviously could not have caused this to happen. He walked around the corner just to be extremely sure that a human had not run away after doing the acts or something along those lines. But unsurprisingly, nobody was there, although he did hear footsteps. These footsteps sent Sam into flight mode, and he instantly ran out of the house and got into his car to visit his grandmother and explain the situation. He was advised to contact a ghost hunter, to which he did, but a minimum of 3 ghostly videos were required as proof in order for the hunter to visit. This meant that Sam had to go back in there and capture one more, take a look.
So the door's rattling again. So I'm just going to go and open it.
Leave it open.
Yeah. What the f?
What was that?
Mate, I'm not joking. What the hell was that?
What did you see?
There was something looking around the corner. Right. What the actual... What the hell? What the f... What the fuck?
This time, he invited his girlfriend around to his house for the day because he was frightened to go in alone. Call this sly all you want, but he decided to not inform her of the reason why, because he thought she would not voluntarily enter a haunted house. But regardless of it being unethical, his plan worked. Whilst at the house, Sam managed to film more door rattling, followed by the apparition of a ghost which peeked around the corner at him. After seeing it, he went to search that entire area, but guess what? Nothing was there. Elias Samael is a regular on this YouTube channel and is beyond aware that his house is haunted. Mysterious events happen within his household all the time, but he has been unsure what the cause is, hence his uploads to TikTok, seeking help and advice on his situation. The saga of clips that you are about to see all come from one of his videos, so take a look.
Vi algo ahí, amigos, como una sombra. Chique, no puede ser eso.
In this clip, a can drops and moves much further than it would have been had the collapse been natural. Strangely, despite being a regular when it comes to experiencing these sorts of things though, Elias seemed very taken aback by this, which definitely raised my eyebrows. Perhaps he sensed something that we didn't, considering that he was at the location. Who knows? Putting his hopes to the side, Elias continued to film his house though. He knew that the only way he could possibly obtain the help that he deserved was to continue the recording and gather the evidence, which was a huge motivational factor for him, and so he did.
En el nombre de Dios. Se cayó, amigos. No tenía por qué haberse caído. Regresé de donde te saliste. Déjame en paz. Déjame en paz, espíritu. Maldito espíritu, déjame en paz. No, amigo, yo me voy a salir.
Throughout this final segment, Elias witnessed 2 cans falling without any visible force acting upon them, and then some tape unnaturally rolling along the ground. After witnessing this, he was fast to abandon his house and come back another day for more content, but he was getting less and less motivated to record every single day. Roughly 3 weeks ago, an elderly man contacted a campervan owner with an inquiry regarding renting the vehicle. After putting the van at a lower price for the man due to his old age, the deal was accepted and the old man drove it into a field in a rural area where he stayed the entire time. Despite being in such a rural place, the man still kept in touch with people such as his family and friends through his Nokia brick to make sure that they knew he was okay. But when he went a week without contacting a soul, they got worried. Police were sent to the campervan to do a checkup on him and make sure that he was alive, but to their dismay, he had passed away. This was creepy, and all but something strange happened during the police checkup that I would like you to have a look at, so watch it.
Right there. Wait, they're going up to Tom's place. So wait, you said the light wasn't off?
Yeah, exactly. And I knew that something was going on. That's a lot of cops.
Holy shit, what the hell? Oh my god, they're calling...
They're coming out.
Are they calling something in? They're going back over. What was Tom doing?
Is there like an app you can check or something to figure out?
Oh my Jesus. Abby's okay.
Whilst the forces were doing their routine checkup, a ghostly apparition was spotted using the camera. Nobody noticed it on the day, but the shadow of what looked to be a young child was seen right near one of the police vehicles and spooked everybody after checking back on the video later. The real question was though, why was there a child spirit in the area in the first place? Shortly after this video, another one was released by the owner of the campervan, who was asked by the forces to remove his vehicle from the scene. Due to the power of the people commanding him to, the man and his wife walked down to investigate and clean the van, but what they found was shocking.
So what are we doing today?
Well, you probably know what the deal with the situation was here. Oh. You brought your phone.
Yeah.
I need to hand you
Okay.
Get ready. Could be a
Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, great. Oh my god. Jeez. Oh my god. What was that? Oh, fuck. Okay. I'm sorry. Oh, Jesus. Well, you're right. It is freaking musty in here. Jeez. Oh. Okay. Yeah, it's for TikTok. Whoa. Wait a minute. Oh, fuck. Jesus. Wait, did this guy have a kid? What is this?
Yeah, this kid died too, like, down before. A long time ago.
Oh my god. I think this is where they found him. Like, I used to want to be a mortician, and morticians would have to come and probably do clear out. And he died here all alone. There's no way I can get through there. Oh.
The camper van was in a horrible state, with dirt and rubbish everywhere, even having a dead crow falling down. Furthermore, when the girl went to the refrigerator and found a hand paint drawing, a toy started by itself, and this was very frightening. It does not take much to piece 2 and 2 together. The child who owned this art and passed away was the one we witnessed outside the camper van during the police checkup. The following video took place in the house of Janette, a woman who had recently gained a huge amount of care regarding her health. After visiting the doctors, they advised her to increase her activity levels in order to regain and maintain a healthy body, and she did the smart thing and listened. This involved starting a routine dance on a platform called Zumba, where she would copy the dance moves on screen. In order to prove to her doctor that she was keeping up her routine, she started to film the dances, and in one recording, she caught this.
Hi. Can I help? We're friends. No, I don't remember. Please get out of my apartment. Please get out of my apartment.
Janette was obviously startled by this and looked very shocked as she slowly snooked towards her mobile device to recollect it. What she saw was a man standing in her doorway, and she realized that her house had somehow been infiltrated by an unwanted man, and this piece of information upset her for obvious reasons. Once she picked up her phone, she sprinted out of the room from the man that she had never seen before, but the door opened by itself, which added a paranormal element to the break-in. You would think that having an intruder enter your house alongside a spirit would be a one-time incident for Janette, but you would be wrong, because not that long after, this happened. This time, an intruder entered the house again, but she failed to capture him on camera. Around a minute into the video, the bed sheets pressed themselves inwards, as if somebody was pushing them, and this was what put Janette over the line, making her flee for good and leaving the complex. The following video was filmed in the kitchen of Daniel, a man who had recently divorced his wife. He was having trouble adapting to the lifestyle of living life by himself, but fortunately, he could cope with it. However, a spirit clearly wanted to make this struggle even more difficult, and did so by haunting the poor man. He had no belief or correlation to anything tied with the spiritual world, and you would not place money on him being a victim, but this is what happened.
Okay. I've seen this cabinet before, but it hasn't opened since the last time I recorded it opening, because I walked into the kitchen to the refrigerator and I was walking past it and I got about right here and it went and opened behind me and scared the crap out of it. Got my heart thumping, let's put it that way. Because you don't expect that sound as you're walking by and so close to you. But it hasn't opened since, and I can jump up and down and it won't open. See, I'm banging on the floor and it still won't open anymore. I don't know, that's weird. And the refrigerator's been making a god-awful noise. It used to make another god-awful noise, like the fan bearings were screeching, and it was just such a loud whistle. Sometimes I just unplug it. But sometimes I could unplug it and plug it back in and it would stop doing it. But now it's making this, whoa! Okay, see, I didn't even move. I wasn't even moving. That's the first time that's happened since the last time. Okay, it's got to be a bed bearing, but I wasn't moving. Look at that. It's closed, and there's nothing on the edge. There's nothing on the edge that would, like here on this edge, that would push it out. And there's the magnet clip. See, that snap's closed. Alright. Fuck, see? That's the freaking noise. Oh my freaking god. Alright. Creepy crap going on in the house. Oh man. Alright. I just wanted to show you that. And I got both of them. Awesome. At the same time. Still closed. Nothing. Come on, open it again. Let me see you open it again. Come on. I'll even move around. Jumping up and down. Banging on the floor.
The first time this happened was off camera, as explained by Daniel, and it frustrated him that he was not able to capture it since. Furthermore, the other sound that I was unable to identify had also been bugging him, so both of these things added together definitely made him question things, to say the least. Regardless of his fear, he powered through this haunting until the end, and surprisingly, it stopped happening by itself out of nowhere. He was a very lucky man that this happened.